Still people are joining. So Chipulu Matso, you have asked how is income tax refund treated in a cash flow statement? Say income tax refund is cash from operating activities, okay? It is not a result of investing or financing, but it is purely cash generated from operating activities. It has to be shown in the last, after taking all the incomes and expenditures, after taking all the receipts and payments in the operating activities, the last note that you are going to add, it is your income tax. Am I clear? Income tax refund is added to the receipts in your operating activities.
Yes, this is clear. Thank you.
Okay. So I hope everyone has started practicing or going through your all the 4 units that we have discussed in our previous classes. Is it so?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. When you are going to have your exams? Anything planned? Any update on that?
I think we don't know yet, but what we so far what we know are the due dates for the assignments.
Okay. What is the due date for your assignments?
I think 30th of April.
Okay. So you must be knowing it has been oriented. You have to upload your assignments in your MIS. Okay? In your LMS, you have to upload the assignments.
Yes,
You have
yes.
to scan them and then you have to upload. And then it comes to the evaluators for evaluation. Okay, I think many of you have joined, so we can start and we can continue our discussion in between also, because this last unit, it is very, very small. It is only a 46 pages and we don't have much practical in this. Actually, we don't have any practical. It is something which is theoretical and it is only a knowledge that has to be with the accountant, or you can say with the chartered accountant, that how these issues are to be taken care. You should have a broad knowledge of these emerging issues, that the emerging issues in accounting, previously they were not existing in your accounting, but nowadays they are being used for the knowledge of these issues are very much required. So if we go with this block 5 emerging issues in accounting, then we are going to study 2 units or 2 topics under this. One is your emerging issues related to human resource accounting, and the other one is emerging issues related to your forensic accounting. So unit 15, it is all about your human resource accounting, and unit 16, which is the last unit, it is your forensic accounting. So let's begin with the unit 15. It is human resource accounting, and the objective is to make you understand the concept, to make you understand the various developments which led to the focus on human resource accountability, to know about the various similar concepts and techniques that is emerging in accounting, and it needs to identify the different human resource accounting models. So few models are being developed by various thinkers, professors, and these models are being stated in this unit. So you can see accounting part is very much less in this. We don't have much accounting here. Am I clear? By the time you should mark your presence in the chat box, If you have joined, you have to write your name. I think everyone is aware about this. So now coming to next, how it has been structured. We will be starting with the introduction part. So what the introduction says, it says that the increasing accountability demanded from the HR department for the resources they demand and consume led to evolution of various techniques to measure and evaluate the contribution of HR department towards the profit of the organization. When we talk about HR is your human resource. So when we talk about HR or human resource, the people who are working in an organization, they are termed as human resource. So now when we talk about human resource, nowadays this human resource is seen as an asset, and that is the reason why they are being called as human resource capital. Human capital, it is not resource, it is human capital. And now it has been included in the mandatory accounting, that along with the financial accounting, cost accounting, you also need to submit the report on your existing human resources. That means existing people who are working in the organization. So, if you take some examples of human resource accounting include quality based life years or quality adjusted life years applied in measuring the value of doctors and measures used by businessmen. Or you can also say that what is the return on investment? This has been also included in human resource accounting. So, what is the role of human resource accounting? It is the measurement of the cost and value of people to the organization. There are many people who are working in the organization, and how to measure the returns from those people and how they are costing to the company. You might have listened to a word which is known as CTC. CTC is cost to the company. When we talk about cost to the company, it means that how much it is costing to the organization. Are you getting? When you apply for job, you have to mention that what is your demand for CTC. CT is cost to company. So we need to know that how much is the cost to the company, how much does the cost company has to pay, and how you are going to measure this. You might have appointed a person for a salary of 2 lakh rupees. So is that 2 lakh rupees justified with his work? Is he able to give returns to that 2 lakh rupees? So this human resource accounting, it involves measuring cost incurred by the organizations to recruit, select, hire, train, and develop employees and judge their economic value to the organization. Again, I am repeating, human resource accounting involves measuring costs that is incurred by the organization to recruit, select, hire, train, and develop employees, and they need to judge their economic value to the organization. Am I clear what is human resource accounting? So, when you spend for advertisement, make spend for hiring people in the organization, for recruiting them, for interviewing them, for selecting them, for developing them, providing training to them, adding skills to them, or enhancing their existing skills. This is the expenditure made on this is your human resource accounting. Am I clear till this? Am I audible?
Yes, you are. It's clear.
It's clear. Okay. So, human resource accounting is a way to measure the cost of the company. Human resource accounting is a way to measure the cost to the company of its people against the income that they create. In the most basic accounting formula, generated income minus employee cost equals to profit. So, what is the cost and how much amount is generated by that employee? The difference is profit, and this has to be accounted. This needs to be accounted. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So, when we talk about compensation management, employee benefits, providing training and development, compliance with all the benefits that they are eligible for, the safety measures, the hygienic conditions at workplace, this all are under your human resources accounting. So, when we talk about, we are discussing here the accountability. So, the major developments which have led to this is focusing this human resource development in the area of accountability. So, all these developments are somehow or other related to the returns that are generated by the HR functions. HR means human resource functions. If we start with the first one, the triple bottom line, traditionally, the success of commercial enterprises is measured by the profit that they make. Of course, if you want to judge the performance of any commercial organization, it is only the profit that they are generating. So they ignore the fact that the correct business operations, they may have a negative impact on the environment, health of society, social well-being, future financial success, and resilience of the enterprise. So, the triple bottom line theory, it attempts to include the impact of business operations on the environment, health, and social well being in the business success metrics. So, the focus of this concept is to account for all the costs associated with business operation. These costs are not borne by the business but by the society as a whole. So, if example, water or air pollution generated by business operations will have a bearing on the whole of the society. It is not only on the organization. The impact that the water pollution or air pollution gives, it is on the whole society. So the triple bottom line categories are often referred to as people, plan, and prosperity. So these are the three basic P's which are involved in human resource accounting. It is people, plan, and prosperity. Best place to work or employees of choice. The second one is, in order to make a place work, the place of work or the place which are preferred by the employees, the companies which are preferred by the employers. So, in order to make a place in these kinds of rankings that they are being in demand, organizations often drive HR programs to enhance the work environment and create new programs which benefit, which provide you new benefits. They add perks and perquisites, and they also give you unparalleled work opportunities. So, these kinds of HR interventions can lower the attrition rate. That means you are intending to continue in the organization. More the attrition, if you give more perks, more benefits, more hygienic and safe working environment, this will reduce the retention in the companies. The third is HR investment and macro level studies. HR investment means hiring people at large scale. You are establishing a link between HR investment, profitability, or productivity. HR doesn't go unnoticed. You try to demonstrate a cause and effect relationship, how much the HRs are productive to the organization. Different HR programs and initiatives are organized, arranged to make the company an attractive place to work. Fourth, it is human capital management focus. Human capital management focus is how you are complying with the HR policies, how you are delivering the compensation, what is the safety rate in the organization, what is the retention, how much people doesn't want to leave the job, what is the attrition rate, how much people are often resigning from the job, and continuous absenteeism in the job. So these are the few emerging trends which takes care. Now we come to approaches to human resource accountability. When we talk about approaches to human resource accountability, the first,
Sorry, Prof. Prof, I can't find this block 5 in my LMS. I have been searching for it. I can't find it. I only have block 4, which ended at unit 14.
means
So
I
I
am going with block 5. You don't have block 5?
yes,
How many blocks you have in your
I have
LMS?
only 4 blocks.
Can you please show me your screen? Can you please share your screen?
And he's not the only one. Me as well. I don't have block 5.
I don't know why you don't have block 5. It's there. I have shared one link. Can you click on this link? I have shared a link in the chat box. Can you open this link? Just let me know. Just see that if you can open this link. Just let me know if you are able to open this. Try to open this link. Open. So you can see now block 5. Is it there now with you?
Yes.
Yes, we have it now.
Okay. Others? Khamis, can you see this now?
Yes, ma'am. I can see it now.
Suleiman, I am not audible to you. I am audible to others.
Well, ma'am, you are audible, but not enough. I can hear you, but down, and my volume is at the highest level.
My volume is also at highest level. Can you once again increase the volume of your system?
Okay, I'll check through, ma. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Others, am I audible properly?
Audible enough, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So I was just talking about the approaches to human resource accountability. And when I talk about this approaches to human resource accountability, the first approach which has been defined, it is the HR management by objectives. When we talk about HR management by objectives, this means that there is an objective which is developed, and these objectives are developed on the expectations of management, what the management requires from the HR people. They target various functional parameters. They require or they perceive that it is very necessary to achieve an adequate level of performance. You have to work on the basis of the objectives that is required, and a minimum level of performance you have to comply with. The measures that have been taken care for compliance is the turnover, your absenteeism, the job satisfaction, your occupational health, how much you are devoted to the organization, the compensation that is provided, the cost to the organization, the expenses, productivity of the HR person, and wastage reduction. These all are quantifiable, and many of these are the objectives for many HR functions. So, whatever measures are determined and developed, they must be related to the organizational performance. This way, we can determine the contribution of HR function to the organization. We also go for employee attitude survey. So, this technique is used to evaluate the effectiveness of the HR department. It is used to understand the link between employee attitude and organizational performance. What is the attitude of the employees in the organization, and what is their performance in the organization? So, if you go with employee attitude survey, the study reveals that the organizations which have high profits, they are found to do more and more employee attitude survey, and the organizations with less profits, they are rarely using this employee attitude surveys. When you go for attitude survey, it has been observed that it establishes a positive correlationship between the employee, the organizational performance, and the attitudes of that employees. So this method is often used with several other methods. An advancement of this techniques is human resource index, where you compare the progress of the human resource over time and with other organizations. You compare the progress over times, and you take several other companies which belong to the same industry. Next, it is HR reputation. HR functions are designed to serve the various constituents of the organization. So, HR reputation is based or evaluated through the feedback of the constituents. How you can effectively function this? It can be through open communication channels, transparent and high performance standards, remuneration and rewards based on performance, effective use of employee skills and abilities, advancement opportunities, employee participation in work decision, and identification and development of high potential managers. Through this, you have to get satisfied. Next, it is HR case studies. So, another approach to measure and evaluate the impact of HR programs intervention is the case study approach. In this approach, the success of standalone programs, the programs which are specifically developed for the development of HR personnel, the policies, the practices of HR interventions. It is examined, evaluated, and then documented. And these reports, after evaluation, are presented to the selected audiences, that is, selected people in the management and to the key managers. Next, it is HR cost monitoring. HR cost monitoring means HR managers, they generally use salary and pursuit expenses as HR cost. HR managers, they generally use salary and perquisite expenses as the cost to the company. But there is a lack of understanding of how a change in one approach to evaluating HR performance with reference to cost is to develop cost standards, and then they compare them with actual cost incurred. First, they develop a standard, that what should be the cost, and then what is the actual cost which is incurring is compared. Comparing actual cost with internal cost standards may not be that effective as comparing the actual cost with similar external organizations. So these are the different parameters which are included in HR cost. You can see the table. When it comes to employment, it is cost per hire, the cost incurred on hiring per individual, per employee, and after hiring them, to orient them, to induct them in the organization, to make them familiar with the working of the organization, the cost incurred on orientation. Once you are been inducted, hired, there is a cost on training and development. In training and development also, we need to calculate cost per employee and total cost as a percent of salary. Once you join the organization, we come here for compensation. Compensation as a percent of operating expense. You have a total operating expenditures, and in this operating expenditure, what is the percentage of compensation? We also need to know not only the compensation percentage to operating cost, but also the total compensation cost. Next comes the benefits, the perquisites that are offered to the employee, and the benefits are again, they are cost as a percentage of salary bill. Whatever benefits you are providing, what they are costing to the total salary. And there are different healthcare costs per employee. We provide medical insurance, medical facilities, hospitalization. This all are provided to the employees. So, what is the medical benefit, medical cost incurred on each employee? Next, it is fair employment. When we talk about fair employment, if there is any complaint, how the complaint is resolved, who is resolving the complaint, is there any monetary matters, financial matters involved in resolving the compensation complaint. So we need to know cost per complaint and cost of litigation. Litigation means if it has been heard in the court, then what is the cost against that complaint? Then we have labor relations. Labor relations are the laws which the HR personnel and the HR people needs to follow. So when we talk about labor relations, it is, if you have any grievance, you need to go for redressal of your grievance. So you complain and there is no hearing on your complaint. Then you have to apply writing your grievance to the committee. So this grievance is solved and redressed. So we need to know cost per grievance and cost of work stoppages. If due to this grievance the employees have stopped working, then what is the loss to the company because of stoppage of work? Safety and health. Under safety and health, it is the accident cost. the medical insurance cost, and so on. And what is the cost of penalties and fines? The cost which you have to pay now for the penalties and fines, they are the cost which was issued in the previous year. Next, it is overall HR. So HR cost as a percentage of operating expenses, and the last is your turnover cost. So these are the different types of cost which is involving. Am I clear with this? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Next,
Yes.
there are few key indicators that measures and reflect the major efforts of the HR department. The sum of these measures are linked to the organizational performance. Key indicators include set of quantitative measures such as accident rate, absenteeism at workplace, turnover of the employees, and the average time to recruit. So again, if you come with this, if you again come with this table, you can see what it is. 15.2 shows the various key indicators of the HR department. So the various key indicators, these indicators, they tell you that how we can measure accident rate. If you are working in the organization, there will be an accident. So how to measure how frequent this accident takes place? What is the rate of absenteeism in the organization? If you are not provided with adequate hygienic conditions, working environment, your demanded perquisites, so if they are not fulfilled by the management or the employer, there is a continuous increase in the absenteeism rate. We can also find that if a person is not recruited in the organization or a person has left the organization, then the replacement takes what time? So it is the average time to recruit a person in the new organization. So these are the key indicators that reflect the major efforts of the HR department. And though it is a theoretical point, it cannot be measured. But then too, efforts are being done in human resource accounting that to measure it and evaluate it. So if we start with the key indicators of the HR department, we start again, they have been classified into broad categories. The first one is related to employment. So when we talk about employment, the first point you can see they have given as average days taken to fill open requisitions. You have provided with requisitions, you require something. So in employment, to fulfill your requisitions, what is the average days they require? Then there are number of applicants who have applied for. So what is the ratio of offers made to number of applicants? There may be a requirement of only one person, but the applications are more. So you have to give that what is the ratio of offers that is to be made to number of applicants. At cases we have seen that we have applied in the organizations and they do not call back, they do not revert. We just drop our applications and they do not call back. We may think that either the applications have not reached to the organization or at times they do not require. But they have so many applications against one opening, and that is the reason why they do not cater to each and every people who have applied for. So the first thing is that at what time they are getting back to you against your application, and second, it is the ratio of offers that is made to each applicant. Coming to next, equal employment opportunity. Equal employment opportunity means it can be that men and women, they are provided equal opportunity. The opportunity is not biased, the offerings are not biased, There is a minority representation also in the equal employment opportunity categories. Coming to the next, it is training. So training is required. How many people working in the organization, how many employees working in the organization are completing the training programs per job category, and what is the minimum and maximum training hours per employee. We also have an employee appraisal and development system. Employee appraisal means appreciating the employee, giving good ratings to the employee, appreciating for good work, giving increment during a particular period. So it is distribution of performance appraisal ratings and reliability of appraisal ratings. The appraisal ratings, the performance evaluation should not be biased. I know you, you are my relative, I have a good link and linkages with you. So even if your performance is zero, I'm going to provide you with full ratings. No, it has to be unbiased, and it has to be reliable. Coming to next, it is careers. So when you talk about careers, it is the ratio of promotions to number of employees. How many times you have been promoted? Is there any specific rule for promotion? It is period based, general based, or it is based on certain performance. So average years or months between the promotions, every year, every month, or after completing certain probation period. The next, it is about the salary administration. Salary administration, the percentage of overtime hours in straight time. Sometimes it is not necessary that when you work as overtime, you work for more than the required hours, minimum hours. Sometimes they pay you in cash. Sometimes they pay leave against the overtime. So what is the percentage of overtime hours in straight time and the ratio of average salary to midpoint by grade level? Next, it is the benefits. Benefits like sick leave, benefits like if any claims are made, then what is the time taken to settle those claims. It also talks about the safety, work environment conditions, safety conditions, labor relations, the settlement of grievances, how your grievances are redressed. There is a redressal committee. Are they your grievances been redressed at a given point of time? And what is the average length of time which is taken to settle your grievances? And the last one is overall effectiveness. Overall effectiveness can be measured on the basis of turnover rate. How many employees in the organizations do not resign? They continue doing working in your organization. They do not go and switch to other jobs. And secondly, it is the absenteeism rate. Am I clear? So these are the key indicators. You can just go through them. It is in your screen. Just see them and let me know if it is clear to everyone. Yes, it is there on your screen. Just check and let me know. You can't hear because I was not speaking anything. I have asked you to read this slide or read these indicators and let me know whatever is explained. Is it clear or not?
Ah, okay, okay.
So is it clear? Can we move to the next?
Yes, please.
Okay. So next it is the HR practices that have an impact on financial performance. HR practices which are linked to firm performance. So employment tests for selection, formal performance appraisals, appraisals linked to compensation, participation in variable pay or company incentive plans, formal job analysis, monetary jobs filled from inside the organization, access to a formal grievance procedure, a formal information sharing program, attitude surveys, and some form of labor management cooperation. So these are the HR practices that the firm has to comply with or they should follow for the production, for the firm's effective performance. You should include the employees, the HR people in the management of the company. Their appraisal should be linked to compensation. That means if they are working hard, they have been rated high, their performance appraisal is showing higher credits, rankings, then they should get some or other compensation for that. They should have an easy access to the grievance procedure, grievance management. That means if they want to put something to the management, some grievance stands with them, they should have access to that grievance procedure. They should have information about the sharing the programs that is existing in the organization. There should be frequent attitude service, employee attitude service, and some form of labor or management cooperation. There should be the existence of trade unions, labor laws, and etc. in the organization. Next, it is this is related to another study which says that there should also be HR expenses to be compared with your total operating expenses, your total compensation to total operating expenses, your absence rate, turnover rate, training and development expenses, total employees working in the organizations. Next, it is human resource accounting as a management decision tool. How to go for human resource accounting? The human resource accounting, first, it is the investment decision. The investment is done in the form of The presence of HRA information in the financial statement may change the way in which the investment decisions are undertaken by managers and creditors. So here HRA is related to human resource accounting. It is not HRA. Okay, it is not house rent allowance. It is human resource accounting. So the human resource accounting information will always influence the performance assessment of the companies, and eventually it is going to affect the judgments. So human resource accounting information and adopted investment decision is still unclear. Coming to human resource planning is how many people you require in the organization, what is the desired manpower position, how many positions are vacant, what will be the procedure to appoint those people in the organizations, what will be the cost matrix, what will be the maximum salary offered to them. So these are your human resource planning. And performance management system, PMS, it is again a systematic approach to measure and manage employees in the organization, manage the performance of the employees. And when we talk about performance management, we have a predetermined organizational objectives, and the actual performance is compared with the expectations. We need to also find the cost incurred in training and development of the organizations. We also need to find the cost involved in compensation management. There are different HR measurement models. The models are based on cost and the models are based on value. So when it comes to the methods based on cost, we need to find that what is the historical cost, what is the replacement cost, what is the current cost which is costing to the company, what may be the direct and indirect cost, fixed and variable cost. So the costs they are incurred may be on recruitment, it may be on selection, it may be on hiring or placement. The cost may be incurred on formal training, on job training, special training, developmental programs, providing welfare and other facilities, amenities inside the organization, outside the organization, health of the workers, safety of the workers, welfare of the workers. So the first, recruitment, selection and hiring, it is under your acquisition cost. From formal training to on-job training, special training, their development programs, these are under your training and development cost. When we talk about formal training till your special training, it comes under your welfare cost, and welfare and other activities, health and all, this is under your other cost. So all these costs are calculated and they are being used to evaluate the cost incurred on the employees by the management. So you need to go through this slide once again, that what are the different costs which are involved to measure the cost of the HR on the organization. Just go through it and read it once. So I'm moving to the next. I hope it's clear. If people don't respond. So these are the different cost models which are involved. You can go through them, go through all the costs. This is already discussed how the cost is effective. You have it in, I have forwarded you the link. Just scroll them and see that if it is clear or not. I'm direct coming to the summary then. I'm just reading out the summary that we have discussed. There is an increasing demand for accountability regarding the value creation by the human resource function. The management is interested to see a link between HR programs and the company's bottom line, that is profit. Investing in people and providing appropriate HR interventions, initiatives, and solutions can result in an increased and sustainable bottom line over a medium horizon. However, the problem is that there is no direct link between the bottom line and HR function. It means that there is no link between the profit of the firm and the HR's function. This problem partly arises from the fact that HR investments are treated as revenue expenditure rather than as capital expenditure. In the absence of any direct correlation between HR interventions and the bottom line, and in addition to lack of measurement of benefits of HR intervention, it becomes difficult for managers to decide for which program to invest, how much to invest, and whether a particular program adds value or not. The basic premise of HRA is that expenses related to the development of human resources are capital expenses. They should be treated as an asset because the gains from human resource development are going to accrue to the organization for a considerable period of time. Various techniques that have been developed to value human resources. One set is based on the cost incurred, and the other set is based on the value calculated by discounting the future earnings of human resource. So this all we have discussed, that though we say that human resource accounting is very important, but again at the same time human resources take looked as when we spent on human resource, it is not a capital expenditure. It is a revenue expenditure, and all the revenue expenditure is a part of expenditure. Because when you pay for compensation, you pay for training, you pay for salary, this all are included in your revenue. They are not added to the capital. So unless and until you add it, you take it or you treat it as a capital expenditure, it cannot be a part of your asset. And unless until it is the expenditure is taken care or accounted under asset, the link of profit cannot be measured. So this is all about human resource accounting. Just let me know your understanding in this. Am I clear with human resource accounting?
Yes, ma'am, you are clear.
Yes.
Okay. Because we don't have any accounting in this, it is only a theoretical part, okay? No accounting, no accounting rules, no calculations. So
Yeah,
this
it's
unit,
understandable, ma'am.
yeah, Kamis?
Understandable.
Yeah, it is understandable. Now we will start with forensic accounting. I'm taking just 5 minutes break, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, Bora. How is everyone? I have asked you people to create one WhatsApp group so that we can clear our doubts. No one has done so. Any one of you, please take the responsibility of creating that link. Who is going to do so? Just volunteer yourself. Who is going to do so?
If Grace can help us, can accept to help us, it will be good.
Grace, can you do so, please?
I was thinking Masumba would be the best person. I'm so
Uh,
preoccupied. If
uh,
Masumba,
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Masumba.
I'm a little bit preoccupied. It'll be difficult. Sorry.
How
Okay,
much
I'll
time
try
it
and do it.
requires?
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Grace, I know you will do it, but Tripulomatso, how you are occupied? It will take hardly 5-10 minutes. When we know
I'll
when
create
we.
the group.
So Grace, you
I
have
think Grace
everyone.
will be best option.
Okay, Khamis,
I'll
done.
go. I'll
Grace
go to
is
the
going to
main.
do this.
I'll go to the main group to get the numbers, and then I can start.
Or else you do
How's
one
that?
thing. Everyone just give your number, write your number on the chat box. Grace, you can take a note of it.
Definitely, I will.
Anna, all of you start writing your numbers on the chat box. I'm taking a break of 5 minutes. So please start writing your names and your phone number so that Grace can take a note by that time. Once it is done
May
by
I
you,
suggest something? Can they WhatsApp me their numbers? I think it'll be faster with WhatsApp.
so Grace, you give your number.
Zambia is 260.
You just write in the chat box, Grace.
Okay. I will write in the chat box.
Yeah, don't forget to include your country code, please.
I've done so. The country code is 260 for Zambia. Then 966220085, as indicated in the chat.
Grace, you are from Zambia?
Yes, I'm from Zambia, ma'am. Lusaka, capital city.
Okay. Grace, can you see my message in your WhatsApp?
Let me check it.
Yeah, you can see, okay?
I have seen it, ma'am. I have seen it. Thank you. I'll
Thank
add
you.
it.
Okay. So all others also, you can WhatsApp to Grace so that she can save your number. And she will be creating a group for our accounting subject. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
And this will be a good way to socialize also. I'm just sending my number again here. Those who want, they can note it down. 91 is my country code, India, and 9753463758 is my number. So if you want to save my number, you can save, and you can text me directly also if you're not texting through the group. So I'm taking a break for 5 minutes. I will be joining after 5 minutes. Okay, so we are starting with the next one. The next one is forensic accounting. So, what is forensic accounting? It is the accounting method which deals with frauds. There are so many frauds in the organization, and when we talk about the financial frauds, they are being dealt with forensic accounting. So, the objectives are we need to find out the dynamics of fraud, understand the concept of fraud, identify the potential frauds which can occur in various accounting cycles, classify the various frauds, and understand various forensic audit techniques. So, when we talk about forensic accounting, it is a type of audit only where we try to specifically audit the financial frauds. How to identify the financial frauds, how to deal with them, what are the techniques through which the frauds can be identified. So, this is what we are talking about forensic accounting. So, only one name which comes in our mind when we talk about forensic accounting, that it deals with frauds. Which type of frauds? Financial frauds. Am I clear? It is basically dealing with the skills to investigate fraud or embezzlement. Embezzlement means misappropriation of cash. So, embezzlement and to analyze the financial information that can be used for further legal proceedings. Okay. So, it is a type of accounting that investigates financial information for potential evidence of crimes in order to further investigate the evidences against the crimes. The accountants, they use accounting, auditing, and other investigative skills to understand whether a person or company has committed financial misconduct, such as embezzlement of fraud, dealing with cash, and so on. So, if you start with the contents that we are going to study, it is first one, a simple introduction to the topic, how a fraud triangle is created, a discussion on major corporate frauds, how we can apply our forensic accounting knowledge in identifying the frauds, the classification of the frauds, reporting of frauds, and the tools that have been used to identify the frauds, and the techniques of auditing to deal with the forensic frauds. So, if we go with the overview, it is that how the company involves into frauds. There is a fraud triangle. The forensic auditing, it would be worthwhile to discuss the concept of fraud triangle. This concept, fraud triangle concept, it identifies three categories factors of risk that are present in the organization. These factors can potentially lead to fraud, or when a fraud occurs, these factors are present in the organization. So the three factors which we call as triangle of fraud, they are incentive or pressure, rationalization or attitude, and opportunity. Incentive, how a person is involved in fraud when it is incentive and pressure. So management or employees, they're put often under pressure to achieve certain milestones, which can be financial, operational, related to sales, cash, etc. So these targets can be realistic or unrealistic. The problem arises when unrealistic targets are tied to the remuneration and advancement opportunities. In order to achieve these unrealistic targets, the individuals, divisions, and company may have incentive to manipulate results or put pressure on others to do so. The company's pressure can also come from other stakeholders like investors, banks, venture capitalists, governments, etc. So the first fraud occurs when you have a peer pressure, pressure of incentives, or it is linked with performance. The second one we are talking here about opportunity. So it is basically assumed that people are honest, but under different circumstances, the employees or management they commit fraud. So what are those opportunities that a person is involved? Sometimes it may be inherent nature. Some transactions are more prone to falsification or manipulation as compared to other transactions. So sometimes it is not only pressure or performance, it can be opportunity also. You got an opportunity to do some mishandling with the cash. And rationalization and attitude, it is the propensity, the intensity to commit fraud by individuals is a function of ethical values and personal circumstances. You don't value your sincerity, your honesty. So you are bound to commit fraud. There are several external environments which plays a very big role in shaping your attitude, building your ethics, creating yourself, creating honesty in yourself during hard times. At times you may be having shortage of cash, you may not be getting promotion, there is a peer pressure. It doesn't mean that you are going to involve yourself into fraud. And at that time, if you do something which is fraudulent activity, that means it is a fraud. The major corporate frauds, these are the major corporate frauds which have made history. These are the case studies. First, it is Satyam Computer. Next, it is Kingfisher Airlines, Jet Airways, Bhushan Steel, ILFS, Waste Management Incorporation, Enron Corporation Scandal, WorldCom, etc. How this application of forensic accounting is done? The application is bankruptcy, insolvency, and reorganization. Fraud detection and prevention, it is one of the principal area where which we find in forensic accounting. So once the fraud is detected and prevented, how it is used? So forensic accounting is there when the company goes bankrupt, insolvent, or they are going for reorganization. We also go for forensic computer analysis. So nowadays, most of the transactions are done electronically, and the information regarding this can be found in files stored on location beyond the computer infrastructure. So, if you go deep in the computer hardware, we can try to identify the frauds. Economic damage calculation. Damage calculation means that any transaction or any action which is involving one or other properties and there is a loss or injury to the other property, the damages arise. So damages can be in the form of earnings, profits, loss of property, physical loss of property. So forensic accountants are often for damage calculation. Forensic accounting is done for damage calculation. Like if you want to claim insurance, you are claiming lakh of rupees, but the damage cost is only for 50,000. So that extra 50,000 is your fraud which you want to claim from the insurance company. It can be family law. There are several Hindu undivided families. This is applicable in India because of paying alimony to the diverse party. You have to pay alimony, so you need to show your income less. Financial statement misinterpretation. the financial statements that you prepare, they are not interpreted properly. They show a false calculation. There is a falsification of your profit calculation. Then it is fraud prevention, detection, and response. Business valuation, the value of the business is not made properly. And then we come to the types of fraud. This is a fraud tree. You can see fraud tree where the fraud is with the asset. Fraud is always with the asset. It can be with the cash, it can be with the inventory, that is stock or other assets. So this you need to remember. Just go through it, read it. Just let me know any of the terms that is not understandable. I will explain you. It is there on your screen. Just let me know if it is not understandable. Just go through each and every types, every branch in this flow chart.
Is this muted? Hello, everyone.
Hello?
Hello, doctor.
Hello.
Yes,
What's
ma'am.
happening? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing. I thought something has something. Is wrong. So
No, no, ma'am.
I.
They're just going through the terms.
Okay.
Just they're reading the terms.
Okay. Okay,
Am I
ma'am.
audible to
Thank.
everyone, na?
Yeah. 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 I thought something happened,
No,
so
no,
I
ma'am.
just.
It's clear. It's clear. Everything is clear.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
So can I proceed? It is done.
Yes.
Yes, we can proceed, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Just a minute. So I'm coming to the next. Next, it is fraud origin and accounting cycles. How fraud is origin and how it is origin in different accounting cycles. The fraud can be when there is a sales and collection of cash. So when there is a sales and collection of cash, this is known as receipt cycle. Fraud when it is occurred at the time of sales and collection or receipt, it is known as receipt cycle. The next one, it is purchase and payments. You have purchased something and you need to make payment against that. You may show that you have made more payment, higher payment, and this cycle is known as disbursement cycle. Next, it is personnel and payroll. When you provide some benefits to your HR people, you provide salary to them. There also you can show an increase, the compensation, the benefits that are provided to the HR, that is your personnel and payroll. Next, it is inventory and warehousing. When the stock is maintained, the place where the stock is maintained, how much stock is withdrawn from the store, how the stock is maintained, what is the quantity of the stock, how much it is issued, at what price it is purchased, minimum level of stock, maximum level of stock, types of stock, this all are under your inventory cycle. And the last origin cycle is monthly reconciliations and reporting. When you monthly reconcile the statements, you reconcile the stocks, that time also you can find that there is a fraud. So these are the different cycles where you will find that fraud has origin. Next, it is fraudulent financial reporting schemes. Fraudulent financial reporting schemes, how you are going to report them. You need to report the frauds when it is detected. It can be due to any of the reasons, but it has to be reported. It can be a fictitious sales, it can be bookkeeping, it can be non-adjustment of your other expenditures, like if there is a sales and against the sales there is a sales return discount, and if they are not recorded, the money is in others pocket. So each and every aspect, each and every fraudulent activity needs to be recorded. Next, it is improper revenue recognitions. There are various.
Sorry, Prof.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, is there any procedure in reporting such fraud cases whereby, for instance, is your head of department is the one committing that fraud, and actually, if you are writing, it has to go through him to submit a report about that. So how can you report to
See,
the
you when you work, when you do auditing, then you are doing the auditing on behalf of the management. Okay,
okay?
but at times you may find that the fraud is not at the lower level, the fraud is at the higher level. Like if you take the example of Kingfisher Airlines, the owner of Kingfisher Airlines, he has taken a loan, and in India he was not in a position to repay the loans, and he has shown that the loans, they were not in a position to be repaid. He was not paying the interest also, and the bank officials, they were involved in passing the loan, in spite that the loans were becoming NPA. NPA is non-performing asset, and non-performing asset means where you are not getting back your loans back or interest on that. But then too, in spite of NPA, they again released a fresh loan. So who are involved? It is the bank officials. There are so many cases where you will find that it is not the lower people who are doing this mishandling or embezzlement of cash. It is the higher level people also, because they want to pay tax, they don't want to pay tax, they want to hide their income. If they show more income, they have to pay bonus, other benefits. So what they do, they try to hide their profit. And in order to hide their profit, they do not record sales, they do not record revenue, they show more losses, they show more revenue expenditures. So the simple way that though the accountant, the auditor, the forensic auditor, he is appointed by the management, but he is an independent person. And if he detects that there is a fraud at the higher level, he has to inform this to the crime branch. Okay, and there the investigation department of the state or of the city will take care. He has to put this in his records, in the financial statement, in his auditor report, that he is not satisfied with the financial declaration of the statements, the financial informations which has been declared by the management, so he can further report it to the higher officials of the state. It can be the persons, the committee from the revenue department, it can be the police station, and so on. There you have seen that there are raids. There are the investigation authorities, they go for raids. So for each and every state, for each and everything, there is a tribunal. You can launch a complaint to that tribunal when the fraud is from the higher officials or the management themselves. They should not give, you cannot, for filing your returns, it is mandatory to publish your books, to publish your accounts. It is mandatory that you should have a clean audit report. Clean audit report means without any complaints. So in case if the auditor is very genuine person and he is not influenced by the position and money of the management, he will not give a clean report. But in cases, you will find that the auditor is influenced by the position and he is attracted with the bribe money, and then he gives the clean report. He tries to go for window dressing and then he puts a clean report and the things are not published. But if he's a genuine person, he is not a biased one, he is very much respectful towards his work, he is going to complain this to the higher officials of the state. Am I clear, Kamis?
Yes, ma'am. I understood, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
So, what are the other financial reporting schemes? Other financial reporting schemes is all which I just told you. It can be the reporting through the manipulations. It can be there is a set off of assets and liabilities. We know the assets and liabilities should match. If they are not matching, you have means set off some entries. So we need to identify those entries. Improper asset valuation, if you're not providing proper depreciation, there is improper valuation of your assets. So what are the IT tools for fraud detection? Nowadays IT is very active and there are different IT tools, there are different softwares which can be used. There is a different software packages which are installed, which are being used by this auditors, this accountant people, where they try to identify. Nowadays, this AI is very effective in detecting the frauds. Okay, so there are different, you can see fraud detection models. These are the models which are used. These all are based on AI and different softwares, IT based softwares. We need to have a proper training for this. Me and you may not be knowing how to operate this. So this forensic audit techniques, you go with this uh, heading or this topic very clearly. What are the forensic audit techniques? This may be asked. I have seen in the questions this is asked, and this is the end of our syllabus. We don't have any keywords in this fifth block. No keywords is there in this fifth block. So you just read them. It will be very clear to you all because this is a very easy. Just a reading will make you understand both the units, both the chapters. I'm just putting this here. The categorization of fraud detection models. You can just go through them. You just read them, you will understand what it is.
Hello, ma'am. The one that you were saying that it usually comes in the exam. Uh, that's the audit techniques, huh?
Yeah, I have seen many times this question is asked in the exam. See, wherever there is a flow chart, you need to explain the set question with the use of that flow chart. Wherever there is a flow chart, because the flow chart is self-explanatory. Once you are thorough with the flow chart, then you can take one by one and explain them in brief.
Okay, ma'am.
Oh, as in, with the way, if assuming a question came like this, we'll have to memorize the flow of the flow chart,
Yeah,
put it in on the paper, then.
you have to memorize, you have to actually understand the process. Okay, once you understand the process now, with the practice of 2 or 3 times, you will be able to prepare that flow chart. And once you have prepared the flow chart, you don't have to memorize the whole answer. One by one, you know the meaning, you know how it works, you can explain them. But if you don't memorize the flow chart, you don't bring this flow chart into practice, then you have to remember each and every technique, and that is something which is difficult. So anything that is from your end, please let me know. Otherwise, we are done for the day and also for the subject. So in case during solving the assignment, if you require any help, as we are now going to be connected with the WhatsApp, you can text me or else you can text me personal also. I have forwarded my number in the group. In the chat box, you can see my number, it's there.
Okay, ma'am. I guess a lot of queries will be coming regarding the practical aspect of the calculations. So we will practice more and get back to you, ma'am.
Yeah, you practice, and in case if there is any problem, you're not able to solve the question, we can always discuss it in the group. Okay,
Okay,
because
ma'am.
when you because assignment you should score maximum marks in the assignment, because that will be online.
All right, ma'am.
Don't hesitate in asking.
Yeah, we will be asking.
Yeah, yeah. In our school, also in our college where I am teaching, we also used to have African students, but since 3 4 years we had introduced Hindi also in our course. They used to take admission in BBA, but in BBA also the university and the state has introduced Hindi subject. So now the students are not getting admission, not taking admission at in our college. I have many students who belong to African countries like Uganda, Nigeria, and so on. I belong to the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. It's situated in the central Madhya Pradesh, that in the central country in India. You can search my college, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. It is in Bhopal. It is the capital city of the state. Okay, so in case
Is
if you,
that
yes, Chipulamatso,
is that a state university?
it is an autonomous institution. We have a parent university of the state, but my institution is not under the university. It is an autonomous institution.
Yeah, well noted, well noted. But I think I would like to thank you. I think you thank you for making yourself available, and thank you for taking us through. And also for the part that you've opened up a window where we can always come to you through the WhatsApp forum to always ask on things that we don't understand. We're definitely grateful for that.
Thank you so much. I am also very grateful for being a patient listener and always having an interaction whenever it is required.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Hopefully, we'll be meeting again for our next subjects. Okay, I am taking finance as the specialization. You will be having projects also in finance. So, you'll be meeting in the coming semesters. And of course, we are going to be connected through that WhatsApp group. So, it is not required that I take any subject, then only we will be connected. At any point of time, for any intellectual exchange of thoughts, you can contact me.
All right, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank
we
you
All
can
right.
all
for giving us
we can
such
also be
precious.
connected when there is some international conferences, seminars. Okay, because when you are doing PG, when you are doing MBA, you should present papers also. Research paper is one of the important aspect of doing PG. Okay, post graduation courses.
All right, ma'am.
So through the group we can also be connected for all the international seminars, conferences, workshops. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
and at times we require international participation also to show it in our records. So definitely I will be seeking help from all of you.
All right, ma'am.
Okay, you can join online
Thank
and your presence can be registered.
noted. I thought also that also involves inviting us to India.
Of
Nice.
course, I am coming to that. I'm coming next to that only. Okay, so whenever you visit India, just give me a call. Try to visit Madhya Pradesh. Is there any future plan of you people to come to India or visit India?
Yes, I have planned to come
Yes.
over.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Uh,
And
that
I
starts with
also,
the graduation.
Chipulamatsu, what you are saying, you are doing post graduation, na?
No, no, I was saying the plans will start with the graduation. After graduation, we would like to have to come and do it physically in India. Then after that, we'll be coming.
Okay, you come to India. In India, it is in the capital, Delhi. You have to come to Delhi for IGNOU University, okay? The head office of IGNOU is in Delhi, but Smriti ma'am, she is in our state, in our city only.
Ah, well noted, well noted.
The regional center is here only, and Smriti ma'am is in Bhopal only, the same city from where I am. So I also expect that you are going to invite me also. Okay?
Yes, definitely, definitely.
We
You should
will.
be coming to Malawi for your holidays as well.
Okay, I will plan my holidays sometimes in the later years, okay? So I'm just ending the class. Thank you everyone for your patience listening, for your participation and your humbleness, okay? So I'm
Thank you
just
very
ending
much.
the class.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
Stay
yeah.
Thank
connected.
you so much, madam.
Thank you
Thanks a
both.
lot,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much. Thank you, Grace. I am I'm expecting that group. You make it as soon as possible.
I'm on it.
Thank you, Asad. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.